everyone, it's Kathy Zilski. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a happy, graphic-y, cardstocky card that celebrates spring. And I would like to say to you that this is a simple card. It might be from a design standpoint, but I'm just going to get it out there. It's a little ticky-tack, but it's kind of fun. So, shall we? All right. Here are the supplies I'm using today, and the base and the inspiration for this card is this new Simon Says Stamp Flower Cluster die, and I'm going to be combining it with the spring word of the Four Seasons word dies, and I'm also going to be using the Simon Says Stamp Four Seasons sayings for my sentiment. All right, now cardstock. We need a lot. I've got some Neenah Solar White 110 pound, some Simon Fog, and a plethora of Gina K cardstocks in this rainbow array. These are just some scraps that I cut from bigger pieces, and we're going to be using these colors to fill in the floral areas. Got some Versamark ink. I am going to be using, of course, a little Hero Arts white powder. I've got some Studio Katia sparkling crystals. I've been using these a lot lately. And I've got my push pad, which I use for intricate dies, and you'll see that. And the MISTI, which could use a lick and promise. I'm not going to lie, it's a little messy. Got some tools and some Elmer's spray adhesive, which I will be using in an unventilated area, just so you know. To start out, I need some of the Neenah Solar White paper. This is the 110 pound. And I'm just going to run this through my Platinum 6 machine. This is from Spellbinders. And this is going to be the outline that's going to hold all of the gorgeous color in this flower cluster. And once I get it cut out, this is where I use the push pad. And this is just like an old push pad. I've had this for years. It goes back to my scrapbooking days. I feel like it's from Scrapworks. Does anyone remember that company? Because I do. But I use it with intricate dies just so that I can easily poke out everything that's inside the die that I don't want, and I don't have to worry about bending my die, the delicate leftover pieces. So push pad is good. All right. And now I like to take a little tape, because you know how sometimes when you do a die it has like little hairy slivers? I call them hairy slivers. I don't know if that's what they are, but a little bit of tape on the back, and it's gonna make magic for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I've got this big box, and I'm just going to spray some of that adhesive. Again, I probably should have more ventilation. I don't. I'm living on the edge here. But I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down onto the fog panel, stick a block on that, and then set it aside so that it can really adhere well. Now comes the colors. And I don't need to cut the whole flower or the entire die out on the colors, because I'm really going to work my way through filling in all of the, I guess, is it the positive pieces? Positive, negative. It's the color part. So what I'm going to do here is keep my little stamp, my die cutting platform out, because I got a lot of little pieces, and this is going to seem at first like, really, Kathy? Sometimes I like to just drop my die really hard and see what falls out. It's a good way to start, but it doesn't always get everything. So I am going to start using this two-way glue, coloring it over the little open areas, if you will, and working my way through filling in this entire die cut. Now I've done this twice, and I think that I had to do it once to make sure A, that I had the attention span to follow through with this project, and, well, B, or two, I've lost track now. I just wanted to make sure it looked good, and I have to tell you, I really love this look of filling in a white outline die cut with some really bold cardstock colors. I think it's very graphic, and it's very fresh, and I knew that once I got the groove going, right, once I was feeling the groove, it was going to be all right. I was going to be okay. Now I did use my pick-me-up tool a lot, and sometimes when I stuck something in and I went to push it down, it would stick to my finger and come right back up. So this was not without its frustrations, but I just took each scrap of cardstock, ran it back through a portion of the die, here's the orange, and then worked my way through the rainbow. So there's the orange going in. Next was the yellow. Again, you can see there on the right, just a partial die cut. I didn't have to do the whole thing. And again, just working my way through with the colors and the pieces. It kind of got relaxing after a while. Okay, that's not actually true. I actually thought, okay, honey, can you bring me a glass of wine? Because I'm just dying over here. Okay, that's not true. But I would have taken a glass if it had been offered. Anyway, the green, I did cut the entire piece because I needed leaves on all ends. But there you go. Doesn't that look cool? I left the centers of the flowers plain because I thought that look, the gray cardstock coming through, looked pretty cool. Then I just set that aside. Now it was time to do my title, and I went ahead and just die cut 3 springs from the Neenah Solar White 110 pound. I figured I didn't need to show die cutting again because, you know, you can only bring your die cut machine in so many times. But I used the spray adhesive, and then I'm going to stack these. And I like to show this in real time because this is still something that I love the look of the stacked die cut, but I am not very good at it. And sometimes it takes me a few tries to get it right. I actually did pretty well with this little delicate guy. Thought it turned out relatively well, and my timing was not in the turtle category. But I went ahead and did 3 stacks. So I've got 3 die cuts to give a little dimension, just to have a bit more than the actual little flower die cut with the color. But I'm going to do the same thing. Brick, clear acrylic brick on that thing, set it aside, and we're going to come back to that. Now's the time to cut a little strip, and I usually just try to measure like 1/4 of an inch, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch more than 1/4. I don't know what that math is. Math is not my strong suit, but this is going to be for my little sentiment, my little sub-sentiment. And I am using the Four Seasons Sayings, and I'm just going to use has come. So my card's going to say spring has come. And this is where I'm using my MISTI tool because I know a lot of people might be able to just free range stamp. Not this girl. Can't do it. So the MISTI is my best friend. Literally, I would go places with my MISTI if my MISTI was wanting to go out. But I digress. Has come. Got that lined up now. I used the anti-static powder tool just so that this ink and the powder, the two will meet and there will be no errant flakes, as they say. So I'm getting this stamped down, and I was surprised that I actually got it right there in the center the first time. And put my powder on, just tap off the excess, and now I'm going to go ahead and just heat set that with my heat tool. I've got my heat tool already heated up, if you will, so that it's, it hits the paper minimal amount of time, and the clothespin, that keeps my fingers from burning. Thank you, Gina K. I learned that from her. Now I'm going to pop up this panel, and sometimes I use fun foam, and sometimes I just pull out my Big Daddy roll of foam tape. It's quick. I like it. And here's a little tip. There's a little bit of schmutz on some of my flowers because sometimes that pick-me-up tool will leave a little bit of residue behind. You can just use an adhesive eraser, and that schmutz it's gone. Okay. Now I'm going to score my card. Now this is going to be a top folding card, but it's going to be the horizontal, the landscape way, right? Score it, fold it, press it down. Oh, is there a greater tool than the Score Buddy? I think not. Now I'm going to take some of that low-tack tape, put it inside my card just to keep it closed, because when I am trying to adhere a panel, I need to look straight down and I need to see it flat. If it's sticking up a little, it's going to be a mess, people. Trust me. I've ruined many a panel. But once I have that tape off and just press it down, look at that nice framing margin white space. It picks up what you see in the die cut too, so I really like white as a card base. Now I've trimmed this down a little bit, the sentiment panel, and I'm just going to notch out a little banner. I did this by hand, and I was really nervous that I was going to mess it up because I'm not real adept with scissors. But you know what? This one turned out fine. You just snip it in the middle and then come in from side to side to create that little pennant banner edge. And I was pretty geeked about that because look that's pretty good. And now it's time to just get that down. So I'm positioning kind of where I want this to be. I knew that I wanted the spring to come down a little bit on the little yellow banner. But I like to use this T-square because I don't like to put something down and then it's crooked and then I can't get it up. I think you know what I'm saying. I have this adhesive though that's really cool. See how narrow that is? It's from Scrapbook Adhesives, and it's great for little pennants like this, little banners, because it just lays this tiny little strip of really sticky adhesive. And now I'm going to trim a tiny bit off because my banner was just a little too long, and then use that ruler for placement. And now it's straight. Oh, that makes me feel so good. Now I just need to add the spring over the top, and I'm just going to use the spray adhesive. And again, I did that off camera, get it nice and sticky, and then place that down. And I'm just going to stick my acrylic block on there just to really let it set up and get permanently adhered. Now remember the dots of the eyes, they're called tittles. Thank you, Laura Basson. Thank you for that. They're called tittles. And I am titillated. I debated not doing it. I was going to use like a gem or something, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to stack these tittles one by one. And by putting one down first, and then adding the glue, and then adding another, and using my jewel picker, because this is a very delicate thing, the tittle. I think we can all agree. Tittles are delicate. But I did it. I could hear the angels somewhere they were singing. The last thing for my card to finish it off was just to add some of those crystals from Studio Katia onto the card. And I love it. They kind of almost appear a little like raindrops, a little crystally, but I thought that was just a really simple way to finish the card, and also to fill in that little bit of trapped space underneath the G. See how that works? So it was intense. I don't think I would mass produce these for Christmas. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that this is a Christmas theme, but I think you know what I'm saying. Maybe not for mass production, but how fun to take some scraps and this beautiful ornate die, fill it all in for a glorious card to celebrate spring. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you hit the subscribe button if you like what you saw here today. There will be more at some point in the future. Have a great day, and I'll see you back here again soon.